Hello everyone. My name is Ganapathi Subramaniyan and today I'll be presenting on how mangrove trees survive in salty coastal ecosystems. Mangrove trees are among the most remarkable plants on earth because they can survive in environments where most other plants cannot. They grow in muddy coastal regions that are regularly flooded by seawater, exposing them to high salt concentrations, low oxygen levels in the soil, and changing tides. Despite these harsh conditions, mangroves continue to grow, reproduce, and support entire ecosystems. In this presentation, I will explain how mangrove trees obtain energy, the important role of enzymes in their metabolism, how they convert food into ATP through cellular respiration, how photosynthesis enables them to produce food, and finally, the unique adaptations that allow them to survive in coastal environments. I will also relate these concepts to mangrove forests found in India. Mangrove trees are salt tolerant plants that grow along tropical and subtropical coastlines around the world. In India, some of the best known mangrove forests are found in the Sundarbans of West Bengal, Pichavaram, and Mothopet in Tamil Nadu, the Bhitarkanika mangroves in Odisha, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These forests are much more than just groups of trees. They protect coastlines from erosion by reducing the impact of waves and tidal currents. During cyclones and storms, mangroves act as natural barriers that reduce flooding and protect nearby villages. They also provide habitats for many species of fish, crabs, shrimp, birds, reptiles, and insects. Mangroves are considered one of the world's most productive ecosystems because they support both biodiversity and local livelihoods. Understanding how these trees survive helps us appreciate their ecological importance and why conserving them is essential. Like all green plants, mangrove trees obtain their energy primarily from sunlight through the process of photosynthesis. The leaves contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which absorbs sunlight. Using this light energy, the plant combines carbon dioxide from the atmosphere with water absorbed through its roots to produce glucose, which is the plant's food. Oxygen is released as a byproduct into the atmosphere. The glucose produced during photosynthesis is extremely important because it stores chemical energy. Some of this glucose is used immediately to support growth and maintenance, while excess glucose is converted into starch and stored for later use. Whenever the plant requires energy, for example, to grow new leaves, develop roots, produce flowers, repair damaged tissues, or regulate salt levels, it breaks down this stored glucose through cellular respiration to produce ATP. Even though mangroves grow in salty water, they have specialized roots that filter out most of the salt before water enters the plant. This allows them to continue absorbing water and carrying out photosynthesis successfully. Every living organism depends on enzymes, and mangrove trees are no exception. Enzymes are proteins that function as biological catalysts. Their main role is to speed up chemical reactions without being consumed during the process. Since thousands of chemical reactions occur inside every plant cell every second, enzymes are essential for maintaining life. During photosynthesis, enzymes help convert carbon dioxide into glucose through a series of chemical reactions. One of the most important enzymes involved is rubisco, which plays a key role in carbon fixation during the Calvin cycle. Enzymes are equally important during cellular respiration. Different enzymes control glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, and the electron transport chain, allowing glucose to be efficiently converted into ATP. Besides energy metabolism, enzymes are involved in building cellulose for cell walls, producing proteins, transporting nutrients, repairing damaged tissues, and regulating plant growth. If these enzymes stop functioning properly because of extremely high temperatures, unsuitable pH, or other environmental stress, the metabolic reactions inside the plant would slow dramatically. Photosynthesis would produce less glucose, respiration would generate less ATP, growth would slow, and eventually the mangrove tree would not survive. Now let us look at how mangrove trees convert glucose into ATP, the energy currency of cells. This process is called cellular respiration and takes place mainly inside the mitochondria. The first stage is glycolysis, which occurs in the cytoplasm. Here, one glucose molecule is broken into two molecules of pyruvate. A small amount of ATP is produced during this stage. Next comes the citric acid cycle, also called the Krebs cycle. Inside the mitochondria, pyruvate is converted into acetyl-CoA and enters the cycle. During this process, carbon dioxide is released and energy-rich molecules called NADH and FADH2 are produced. The final stage is the electron transport chain. Electrons carried by NADH and FADH2 pass through a series of protein complexes located in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Their movement creates a proton gradient, which powers an enzyme called ATP synthase. ATP synthase uses this energy to produce approximately 30 to 32 ATP molecules from a single glucose molecule. ATP provides energy for nearly every activity inside the mangrove tree. It powers active transport of minerals, salt regulation, growth of roots and leaves, flowering, tissue repair, and synthesis of new cellular components. Without ATP, the plant would not be able to carry out any essential life processes. Photosynthesis is the process that allows mangrove trees to manufacture their own food. This process occurs inside organelles called chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll pigments that absorb sunlight. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide enters the leaf through tiny openings called stomata, while water is absorbed by the roots. Using light energy, the plant converts these raw materials into glucose and oxygen. The glucose becomes the plant's food, providing the energy needed for growth and reproduction. Oxygen is released into the atmosphere, supporting the survival of many other organisms, including humans. Photosynthesis not only sustains mangrove trees but also contributes significantly to global oxygen production and carbon dioxide removal from the atmosphere, making mangrove forests valuable in reducing climate change. Mangrove trees possess several remarkable adaptations that enable them to survive in coastal environments. The first adaptation is their salt filtering root system. These roots prevent most dissolved salt from entering the plant. Some mangrove species also remove excess salt through specialized salt glands located on their leaves. The second adaptation is the presence of pneumatophores, also called breathing roots. Since muddy coastal soils contain very little oxygen, these roots grow upward above the soil surface to absorb oxygen directly from the air. Another important adaptation is the development of prop roots, which provide strong mechanical support against waves, tides, and soft muddy sediments. Mangroves also reproduce through vivipary, meaning their seeds begin germinating while still attached to the parent tree. When mature, the seedling drops into the mud and can quickly establish itself before tides wash it away. These adaptations enable mangrove trees to flourish in habitats that would be unsuitable for most terrestrial plants. In conclusion, mangrove trees are excellent examples of how plants adapt to extreme environments. They obtain energy from sunlight through photosynthesis, convert glucose into ATP using cellular respiration, and depend on enzymes to carry out thousands of essential metabolic reactions. Their unique adaptations, including salt filtering roots, breathing roots, prop roots, and vivipary, allow them to survive in salty coastal ecosystems while protecting biodiversity and supporting coastal communities. As climate change and coastal development continue to threaten mangrove forests, conserving these ecosystems has become increasingly important. By protecting mangroves, we not only preserve biodiversity but also strengthen natural coastal defenses and contribute to a healthier environment for future generations. Thank you for your attention.